There we are. We are live. Welcome, everyone. I am so excited. We are going to be talking about the executive exhale. All right, folks who are building businesses, professionals. It's really a pressure when you're starting a business or you're high level in your career, and it's hard. You can run on fumes real easy, folks. And so we have a lot of knowledge coming your way. April Wyett, Brian Cochran, cannot wait to bring them up. And I'm talking about her like she's not sitting here. So, April, how are you, my friend? How are you?
Oh my gosh, I'm doing well. Although we just were on the road for 4 days, heading to Iowa. So we finally parked here. We're full time RVers. And wow, that's all I have to say. I'm grateful to be here and so excited for this conversation, Mike. Thank you so much for having Brian and I here.
Oh my goodness, my pleasure. Because you all have been on me for what, at least a year or two, about taking care of myself, my health, mental well being. I don't like the word balance, but because every time I take a step, I'm off balance. But harmony, right? That's what. So how to live harmonious. And so thanks to April and David Manansky and April Wyatt, two instrumental folks. Because when I got sick last week, I did the unthinkable. I I said to heck with it, and I cut out at least half of my schedule, which is a normal person's workday still. And and then after I started feeling better, I said, I'm not putting it back on. Like, so that was it. Cutting out 80% of the stuff that I don't need to do, and focusing on the 20% that matters most. So, folks, hey, get a pen and paper. We're not going to drag it out. We're going to roll the intro, give a couple shout outs, and we're going to ask questions in the audience. Uh, Chime in. Oh, look at this. Oh my goodness. See, this is why I like you extra, April, because look, you come and then look, Lisa Fedrick is here.
Oh, I love Lisa and Homer and Babita. Oh, this is
Oh,
great. Thank you so
Lisa,
much for showing up.
I talk about Lisa all the time. It's all good things, Lisa. But yeah, I do. She is a great example. Plus, she helps people in a way that in the way she does it is just really cool. Like she really owns her space. So Lisa, bravo to you for doing great things. And who? Oh, we got Mr. Radio Voice Royce Blake. Thank you, big dog. He must be cooking something big because he hadn't been around as much as normal. That means he's about to go boom. So I just asked him for an update. And Babita, brand new hound. She's got a bunch of books. I don't know if you
Yay.
have met her yet, but she's gonna
I have
love this.
not had the opportunity. Please reach out, Babita. I'm curious about you.
She's gonna love this show. So hey, folks, if you're not a hound, don't take my word for it. Of course, I'm partial, right? Of course, I'm gonna tell you to join the Hounds of Business Community. But get to know the folks. These are real good, down to earth people who most of us built from dirt out of passion, and we pushed each other up till we got there. Right? That's it. We want to make an impact in this world, not just money, and that's what you're in for, folks. So grab a seat, grab an ink pen or whatever you kids use nowadays to take notes, computer, and let's get this party started.
Let's go.
If I find the button, usually I have people take care of me.
Button. Who's got the button?
That pep all.
Are you looking to grow your network and your net worth with other high-level, heart-centered professionals? Then grab a seat and your favorite beverage and join Mike Asherbranner, the Redneck Connector. It's time for the Hounds of Business Community Happy Hour.
All right. Before we get diving into the executive exhale, I wanted to show everybody something just cute, as proof that I am making changes. See, I'm getting old and stuck in my ways, but I am smart enough to make new ways. So that's what I did Sunday. We learned how to make
Oh,
eggs. April, she learned at 6 years old how to make eggs.
oh,
That's it.
that's excellent. Excellent, Mike. Good job.
That's what I was waiting for. Thank you, April. So, but no, it was so cute. She said, "Daddy, can I do it?" Oh, also, I didn't get a picture. I didn't put them on here. She got to use the lawnmower with the push mower, right, with strict supervision. But yeah, so she's like, "Can I do it?" And my philosophy is, if they're old enough to keep asking, they're probably old enough to at least try it. And so
Yeah.
you know?
Oh, you should talk to Brian about that. He's all about his girls and teaching them all the things for sure.
Well, he's coming up and you're
He
co-hosting.
is.
You ask him whatever you want. Yeah, do that. All right. So there you go. I took time off and the world didn't end. And so if you're out there saying, oh, I got to do this, I got to do that, well, I'm the king of it. All right. So I'm doing it. What's your excuse? Do it, guys, because it's that creative moment where ideas pop out. You know, you find solutions to the problems you can't do when you're just tired and grinding on it. You just got to let go sometimes, take a break, take time out, and answers come. You know, it's been amazing. So thank you, April. Yes, I'm giving her a shameless plug because it worked. If it worked for me, it worked on probably anybody. All right. So real quick, it's been a little minute since I had brought up Kevin Smith. Kevin Smith is one of the most coolest guys, heartfelt men I've ever met. High level, very accomplished in his career. But, you know, he is even unmatched in just kindness. The long story short, and go to Hounds of Business on YouTube. Hounds of Business, you'll find it. The guy lost his wallet one day, and it looked like, in my words, he lost his mind, right? He couldn't find the young lady who returned the wallet, and he went on this wild goose chase that turned into, it's a heck of a story, turned into a movement, a worldwide movement. Mm-hmm. And this guy decided to put his business kind of on the back burner. I mean, he's still running it, but he is putting his personal attention and energy into spreading kindness across the globe, folks. Started in York, Pennsylvania. I'm serious. I got to go to York. If I'm going to move north, it'll be York because these folks are doing transformational things. I've never seen anything like it. And they are the hallmark. They are the benchmark of what could be and can be and should be copied in cities across the U.S. as well as the world. So where has Kevin been? He's been everywhere, y'all. He was in Salt Lake City. All right, I'm not going to name it all off, but he has met with the governors. He's pulling the Governors Association. They are really excited about what's happening. He has also spoke at the UN, right? More than once, I believe. Don't quote me on that. He's even met with Bush, the president. I mean, a former president. This guy is everywhere. He's been in Lithuania. They're writing kindness citations, all right, all over the place. You know, this is amazing. This is transformational. He's brought in communities, businesses. Wow, we are honored and just thrilled to be a part of this. We've been in this since last September, and to watch and be a part of this is extraordinary. So, Kevin, you're a tireless man. He's texting me at 2 a.m. about this stuff, man, on Friday. This guy he's a beast. But thank you for all your effort, your attention, and he's making a difference. People are going, you know what? There's something to this, and there's a rate of return behind it. That's what people. Oh, and it's profitable. Yeah. So. Thank you, Kevin. And I couldn't find a more appropriate show and guest than you, all right, than to shout him out. And on that note, last one is Troy Carnes. This guy, you know, birds of a feather really do flock together. When I met Troy, I liked him instantly. Just a good-hearted man. What you see is what you get, and I like transparency, y'all. But he went through 98 days of alcohol recovery, you know, and I've done that too. But then you throw a cancer diagnosis on top of that in the 98th day and they cut your shoulder out, right? That blows my mind. I'm like, oh my goodness. So the man not only helped himself, he's been helping and coaching, and he's writing a book. His book was coming out here soon. I ain't got the release date.
Yeah, I can't wait for it. It's going to be a good one.
Oh, it's going to be stellar because it's from the heart, it's real, and it's going to relate to people that could relate to other things that they've read. They may not be able to relate to the therapist right now, these kind of things, right? But they're going to relate to somebody like them. Right. And Troy is that guy. So if you're out there, you know somebody who's trying to grind and get up there and they're fighting inside of themselves. And hey, start here. Just send them a gift. You can do it anonymous. Right. But everybody go to troycarnes.com, troycarnes.com. He's got all kind of resources, great copy, great newsletter. This is a good man. I like this man. So that's why he's up here. So thank you, Troy, for you being so vulnerable and open to share your experience so others can do it better, faster, man. That's what it's about here. All right. Not just, again, make money at it. Sure. But make an impact first. And that's what he's all about. And yeah. And things will come. And then real quick, because we're going to get Brian up here before he leaves. You think we done left. So we've got Tomo tour. So you spent time in Japan. It's been a while. Yes. So tell the folks what it is real quick, and we'll get more detail in a minute, April.
Oh, thank you, Mike. This is near and dear to my heart. I lived in Japan for a total of 10 years. My husband is retired Navy, and I have friends there still. So Tomo in Japanese means friend. So I'm taking American friends, and actually I have another friend who lives in Germany, and she's going to meet us over there. So this is like global friendship happening here. And we're going to meet in Tokyo and take the Shinkansen, the bullet train, down to Kyoto, which is, historic Japan there, and go visit the onsens and the shrines and temples, and just have a really good experience. Yeah, I'm very excited about it. That QR code, just take a snap at that and you'll find all the information there on my website. And please feel free to DM me too with questions about it. I'm very excited for it. And I just have 2 spots left too. So
how many?
2. Yeah, only 2 spots. I like intimate, small retreats and things. I don't need a lot of people. It's less is more, right? Less is more.
Well, you know me, I don't even go to the gas station anymore. So, but I would like to go to Japan would be awesome. But to see you drink sake would be fun too. So like,
Kampai.
Yeah. But they got them little bitty cups, like normal cups. They got
little cups and yeah.
Yeah, no kidding.
So many stories, karaoke, all the good things, right?
Yes, ma'am. Well, let's go ahead and bring this this amazing guy. I just met him backstage, didn't know him, but he's running with April. I said he's got to be good people, and he sure is. So let's bring Brian up here. We don't have a soundboard, Brian, because they don't need one. Yay, Brian! Woo! There you go.
Hi, everybody.
How are you today?
Thank you so much.
Oh man, my pleasure. We might have a little delay, so if I'm cutting you off, it's not rudeness, it's just delay. But thanks so much, guys. Let's get started, and I'm going to give the audience here a question. But folks, feel free to network. Feel free to chat it up with each other. You never know who you're going to meet. All right, somebody can move that needle, open doors. Don't pitch slap with a P. Pitch slap, right? Don't spam. But hey, mix, mingle, have fun. You showed up for us. We're going to show up for you all, man. So here's the thing. I talked about this earlier, man. How many of us are running on fumes, right? Thinking that, that's just the way it is. That's the price to success. And in my opinion, there is truth to that. There is a time to grind. There is a time to, stay up late and go to bed late, get up early. But in my experience, doing that for 3 years straight, it catch up to you, even the toughest. All right. So anyway, we're going to talk to these two, man, April and Brian, about that. They said, wait a minute. All right, we got a better way. You can have your cake and eat it too if you do this right. So anyway, April, let's start off with you, an intro real quick so folks who may not know you somehow get to know you. You walked away from the corporate world. So you had a real job. You did the corporate thing. You did all that stuff, right? And what was that moment when you realized something had to change? Man, I'm sick and tired. I got to go. I got to do something.
Yeah, it was when I realized I was taking a lot of stuff home with me, that, the phone, things that, would just distract me from family life, not being able to relax. It took the whole weekend for me to relax. And then Monday would come again, right? So I'm sure everybody has those Monday dreads, or keep thinking about reports or things that need to be done. And that really puts us in that fight, flight, freeze mode, right? Our sympathetic nervous system is on hyperdrive. And so that really taxes our sleep. We can't digest things, and it really scatters our thoughts, and we're not really present with our family or friends or anything that we're doing. So what shifted for me was realizing that I had something to support people with, such as the Reiki and the sound healing and biodynamic breathwork, that I wanted to work with people who were ready to pause, who want more for themselves and ready to get off that hamster wheel, and so that way they can discover more about themselves. So this is what I love to do. This is how Brian and I work together, and this is what we're going to share later on about this amazing opportunity here. So that way people can really reset and restore in an in-person setting that we're going to share later.
Oh my goodness. And let me tell you folks, if you haven't got the pleasure to meet her and talk to her, and you have a webinar, or like you have a Zoom link where you guys do the Reiki together, and you know, and this, look, I do it. So I don't do weird woo woo stuff. It don't work. I'm too busy and I'm just, too country. But it's so awesome. It works. That's why we talk about it. It's, oh, it's weird. But go try it first. What's weird is I was grumpy for no reason, right? Until I met April. That's weirder, man. And so that's my way of putting it. But I love your approach. You always meet people where they're at. You met me where I was at. You never pushed. You were patient. Oh, like Yoda patient, man. And you just waited. You were there. And when I was ready, you were ready. And when I had to sit around and do my silliness, you were there. You're just waiting. And that's why we put you up here. There's tons of people in y'all space. There's only one of you, right? Only one Brian, only one April. And I want to make sure folks know, because they can plug in and ask questions and not get sales pitches out of their wazoo when they email. Mm-hmm. So Brian, back to you or to you.
Yes, sir.
So you've got this interesting mix of a medical background, spiritual healing, right? It's not the most common path, but you're on the right show for that, right? How did a hospital professional like you end up doing breath work in Bali, man?
I grew up on a farm, so resiliency was part of finding a well when there was no water left, I was always intrigued with human spirituality and how our physical bodies intertwined with the spirit. Even from a young child, going to church and discovering that wasn't my church, but I still wanted to find that feeling. How do I find that feeling? And I went through several different religions growing up, even through my teens and adolescence. I'd be the one guy with nobody else, young guy in a church trying to figure out, all right, what does all this mean?
That's me too.
Yeah, I've been searching, and I thought I found it in my marriage, but that's too much pressure for a marriage. That's the wrong identity. And I think that's really when I gave it some power and I gave it some space is when I realized my identity was flawed. The identity I chose was not accurate. I didn't know I had a choice. And then all of a sudden, my identity, I can choose my identity. I can really dive deep and see who I am, and that can be what I show everybody else all the time.
Oh, he's got, see, now I'm about to break script and just go nuts. Yeah, birds of a feather, man. Questioning, man. And I'm almost 44. I'll be 44 in almost 10 days, man. So, trying to figure out and understand yourself and define life and success at 44, man. But I've seen people doing it at 60 and 70, because most people, in my opinion, or experience, don't. They just don't. They never get it. And hats off to you, brother. So I hear this theme, right? I kind of hear this theme that already is brewing, and something that it's a passion for me. It's the wake up call, right? Because there's a lot of folks out there still on sleep mode. They're still, their passion hadn't left, their ambition hadn't gone, but it's a little tiny flame. They can't even see it most of the time. So April, let's start with what everybody's maybe thinking about. What does burnout actually look like for high performers? People who are building businesses, scaling up, running companies, go. Maybe they have a family. A lot of times they have a family they don't want to neglect, their self, right? So, because I think a lot of people don't recognize it. So what does it look like in high performers?
Well, it's just going on for the next goal, the next thing to do, the to-do list that never ends, to check those boxes off. And we tend to, especially women, we put other people first. We put the kids first, right? We put our career first. We want to make sure that we are showing up, that we show our value through how we are performing. And that is right. That is just a perfect storm, right, for burnout. And then soon we have these aches and pains, or that mental fog, or, just telling ourselves, if I could just make it to the weekend, or whenever I can get XYZ type of thing, I just need a little bit of sleep. I need just this to fix it. And that's the illusion. Oh. That's what the mind likes to tell us. Like, oh, it's okay. You're working so hard. If you just keep doing this, then you'll achieve that. But it's the carrot that's dangling in front of us that we never get. So that is what I see with executive burnout or high performance. You don't even have to be an executive person. You could be a small business owner. I've suffered from this myself too, until I realized, oh, I have a lot of tools in my toolbox and I'm not using them. I'm not even putting my own oxygen mask on first. And so really it's about practicing what we preach, inviting those small moments, asking, is this bringing me joy and happiness right now? Or is this doing the never-ending hamster wheel happening there?
Oh gosh, when you listen, at least in my experience, you nailed it. When you start doing stuff and putting your priorities, yourself, your mission, your legacy, when you start putting that stuff first, it feels selfish, especially when you're a little doormat like I was for most of my life, and you had to work through that. It is absolutely selfish. But then you realize, hey, the better I do, the better everybody else around me is going to do. The better my family, my business partners, the Hounds community, the more I got, the more I can give.
The better I feel.
Yeah.
The better I feel.
Yeah. See, I like that when April's like, no, let the silence speak. I'm like, I got to fill the silence. Let's fill it with Brian, because I want you to answer the same thing if you don't mind. But also I want people to know you have that interesting mix, right? So you work in hospital setting, right? They're saving lives in the hospital setting. So how, if any way, is that different than the stress our business leaders are dealing with daily, or is it similar?
I mean, I'm going to see, well, I'm partially retired now. I've did about 20 years in major hospital work and training soldiers in hospitals. So I've gotten to see a lot. I've worked a lot in ERs, and it's always so interesting to me to watch people come in with a illness of despair, right? An unexplained diagnosis that's taking their life, but it's not taking anything. They've already given their life to it because they're not addressing why the small things. And I mean, we're all trying to do the right thing. I believe that about everybody. In the moment, they're trying to do the right thing for themselves, right? So I've watched people come in and heal from terrible, terrible things that they should have died from. I've healed from terrible things, but the will has to be there.
Oh, I was a fireman. Yeah, for 8 years. So, I've been on both ends of that one. Yeah. I seen people who are like, wow, how did that happen? Mm-hmm. And then I was in situations like, how did I walk out of that? That's, it's unexplained. But see, again, it could be a different situation, Brian, but it's the same principle, right? It's the same kind of thing. And that's why what you guys are talking about works. It really doesn't matter where you're coming from. You could be a police officer, you could be an executive, you could just be a busy mom with like 15 kids, like Lachelle Atkins, right? Super mom, right? It's all the same. And that's what, first of all, and I'm going to get on a tiny soapbox, but not long, hang in there. I say this all the time, but listen, we think we're the only ones, like we're defective. Oh my goodness, what if people found out? Who am I supposed to tell this to or that to? And you know what I found out dealing with thousands of people literally a month? They're just better at hiding it than we are. That's it. Everybody's got problems. Because if your Facebook is perfect, I already know, because I noticed I'm not picking. I'm just saying, you don't take a picture of the room until it's really clean.
Why do you think I have this background going on? I'm in my bedroom in our RV.
Oh, please. April's dirty is like a towel, like misfolded in the corner. Like my dirty is like I have a 12 and a 6-year-old dirty, and dogs and cats. It's dirty. But again, I want to clean, but I don't want to do it because I have to and all that stuff. So it's, again, you're in charge of you, right? You learn the principles of wellness and positive thinking and realistic stuff, and you just do it. And it's uncomfortable at first, but we'll dive into that. All right. So let me see. We talk about so much. I get so excited. And audience, thank you for showing up. If you feel like it, put the questions on the screen from us, from the Hounds of Business. That's to you. So feel free. If you want to chime in, if you have a question, we'll try to get to it. Put it on the screen. Ask the folks.
I just want to acknowledge Karen. She was part of our Bali retreat, and I'm just so happy to have her here. speaking of burnout, you know, she had some pretty big revelations during her time with us. So I don't know if you're still here, Karen, just sharing your experience, sharing whatever you want to about, you know, how you were able to overcome that burnout.
I want to tap on just for
Go
a
ahead,
second. I think, and this is a direct retreat comment. And I know we've witnessed this one-on-one for sure, but on retreats specifically, people show up, and I've done this as a new retreat goer. And I've learned from incredible people on how to do these retreats. You don't know how deep and how amazing you are until you witness that authenticity that we work with you to create a space where it's safe to release that. It comes up, and then once it's there all the time. You don't ever come back from it.
Well,
and
let me ask you, if you don't mind, because, you know, I'm assuming everybody knows breath work. Maybe they had a goofy experience with breath work. Maybe they have a misconception of breath work. I had all the above before I got this April, right? So, and let me ask you, some people think it's all fluff, right? So what's actually happening in the body when you're doing breath work? Maybe it's Reiki, maybe it's meditation, simple, but what's really happening in the body? Is there science behind it, or is it just a bunch of malarkey?
You meant to take this, April?
Go ahead, Brian.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of physiological changes that occur, and there's also a lot of different kinds of breath work. There's the one that and I mean, we've practiced several, but my favorite is BioDynamic, and it's the most reproducible, it's the kindest, and it's sustainable. That's the real thing. You can get the same results the more you do it, right? So it gets better, compounding on itself, right? I don't really fall in line with things that are one and done. I can't figure it out. Someone can explain it to me. I need to know. I need to know it fully before I perform it. So physiologically, it changes your O2 and your CO2 saturation in your blood, and it affects your brainstem in a way that creates a very safe feeling in your body. Okay, it's working your nervous system backwards. Okay, and what we do is we take people to a space where those traumas that they might not even remember, they might not know. It doesn't matter what the story was, that's already happened. We're really addressing how it is affecting your life now and where it is in your body. It's retained bioenergetically. We can record that with medical imaging. We know it's a fact. But how do you address it? You can literally see the places where people have had cancer years before, and there was bioenergetic retention there, and now it's a disease. So you move through these things, and all of a sudden people can walk fully upright again. They can breathe. They can use their left shoulder where it was completely bound up, or they've had back pain for years, and now they just don't have it anymore.
See, real quick, I find that fascinating. We'll go to you, April, but I want to elaborate real quick, because I was the same way. Like, if somebody was to say, hey, you have this disease or this illness or whatever, right? Even pneumonia, much less cancer or something like just awful. And I would be like, oh, I better take that seriously eventually. But if you said, hey, your chakras are out, or, you know, you're stressed out a lot, we're like, whatever, you know. And you're like, no, we need to take, and I'm glad to see people going there. I'm glad to see the medical and the science and things coming around, and people go, I should take that as seriously as I take all the other stuff seriously, right? And because it's not woo-woo. It's just, we don't talk about it. It's just our societal ways. And I'm glad that we shrunk the world with the internet and the silver lining of COVID, because now here we are, right? Rednecks are doing Pilates and breath work, and who knows what's next, right? But it works. And that's the whole thing. Because if you tried stuff before and it ain't working, what are you going to give up? Like, isn't your goals in yourself, in the people you want to show up for, worth it? That was the inner talk I had, guys. You know, it wasn't the easiest thing, but You know, I'm like, well, what's the most manly thing to do? The most macho thing to do? Kick a stray cat on your way home because you had a bad day and you don't know how to handle it, or go and do the inner work and get a coach to help you through. You know, and I don't say it to be coy. I just say that because people are like, well, because if you grew up country, if you were a fireman, you know, that's not for us. But again, when you look at the facts, man, look who has a lot of those stressors, who even has suicide rates to it. This is serious business. So if you're out there with a stigma, drop that stigma. And nobody's even going to know if you did it. So just do it, right? You have a great story at the firehouse the next day. I promise you that. It'd be interesting, especially when you crack jokes at inappropriate times like I do with April every now and then. But and she can handle it. All right. So April, to you. You like to take that one. What is it?
Yeah, I want to bring it back to what you just said, Mike, is so perfect, right? It's that's not my thing, or that's not what a guy does, or what have you. And that's really a defense, because it's scary to actually feel.
Yeah.
So our bodies hold everything for us. So even it's been shown, science has shown that the fascia holds memory. You can see it with how people even hold themselves, their body types, right? People that are kind of hunched over, that, you know, they don't even look up. They're breathing through their mouth constantly. You know, it's just, this is a protection of the heart. Maybe they had a lot of grief. Maybe they've had a lot of hardships. And they don't want to feel it. And the body naturally wants to protect. And so when we have that space to where people can actually feel into that and breathe into those spaces, then that's that bioenergetic release, as Brian was alluding to. And it doesn't have to be big. It could be something very subtle. It's like melting the outer layers of an iceberg. You know, we don't want to go in there with a big piece of dynamite and re-traumatize anybody. No. That wouldn't do any good, right?
I've hit that. I don't want to be there. You. It's happened to me a couple of times. That's why I came to you. But
let's go in there gently. Let's see what there is, and let's lean in and listen to the body, because our bodies are amazing containers. And just as Brian said, right, it's holding everything, and it's going to show up somehow. If we don't know how to release it, if we don't know how to move or witness or cry, then it's going to come out some way. And that usually is that disease. I know.
Okay. I got first of all, I remember you saying something, correct me if I'm wrong, that companies even like Google and Microsoft are doing this now, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, bigger companies are getting into this, and yeah, there's a gentleman, Max Strom, before the global shift. He has a really good YouTube video out there that he talks about breath work, and he works with executives and everything. That was happening even before the global shift. Mm-hmm. So now people are searching, they're seeking for more. They want more for themselves. They're feeling this overwhelm and this anxiety. But they don't know what to do with it. They can read so many self-help books. They can watch so many YouTube videos, but until they sit and learn to be with themselves with certified practitioners such as Brian and myself to hold that safe space for them, that's where the magic happens.
Or they can fall for a cult. I just remember last year that somebody was like, oh my goodness, no, this professional organization had to oust because it got weird. It got like, you know, put the lotion in the basket kind of weird, kind of like, you know, that movie, The Silence of the Lambs. Yeah, even I was like, oh no, don't go there. Like that's, you know. So and that's why we do this. So, you know, it may not be for you. We're not saying that. It probably is. But at least you know you're not going to like, you know, disappear or something. Like it. Yeah. We want people to go and get what they need. And here's the fun part. If April's not the best fit, she's going to tell you that. And that's what matters, right? Seriously. I mean, it's a no-brainer. So let's get into the practical stuff, if you will, because time flies when you're having fun. So correct me if I'm wrong, but we're talking about strategic disconnection, right? It sounds fancy, but what does this actually do and mean for someone like me who has back-to-back meetings like all day? Who wants to tackle that one? Boom.
nervous system regulation, right? The ability to function in super high stress. I was over 13 ORs in a military hospital, and I'd have techs leave crying. And I don't know, I mean, military, I'm sure you can understand that military medicine's different, right? Everything they do is different. So it's a little harsher, it's a little bit more abrupt, and it's way efficient. And you learn it, then you do it. So I taught a lot. But in an OR, there is no room to learn, right? So I had to balance that with my new soldiers and my old techs and me. And I knew how to do everything. I can make every surgeon happy, but I can't be in 13 ORs at the same time. So we all take those moments throughout the day, and have that resiliency that comes back up. But where does it come from? How do you adapt it? I mean, there's just confidence that comes out of these retreats that I can't explain. April, can you even put that into words? What happens to people when they come through this?
Self-discovery, basically. They're remembering those parts of themselves. Maybe they didn't even realize that were there. And that nervous system self-regulation, right? That's self-regulation. That's remembering to breathe. And I'm not saying you have to do some sort of fancy practice. It's, where are my feet right now? This is what I did with Mike. Where focus on your feet. And anybody can do this right now as you're even listening or watching this, right? Focus on your feet. What's your right foot feel like compared to your left foot, right? You're switching your focus now, right? You're more into your body. You're not in those ruminating thoughts. You're sensing what's happening in your body. Now pretend that you can breathe through your feet. What would that feel like? Like you're filling your whole body with air all the way up to the top of your head, and then just a longer exhale. And there you go. You just switch to the parasympathetic nervous system that quickly. Although if you're really wired, it could take a little bit more practice. It could be that you need to go move and go outside for a walk and literally feel the weight and look at the trees and breathe into that air of nature, right? That's earthing. We forget we're animals, right? We need that. And being in a cubicle, being in front of computers, being in this type of environment is very overstimulating for the nervous system. So giving yourself little breaks, finding that space, giving back to yourself.
You see me over here smiling for no reason. Is because April told me a long time ago, she said, Mike, the same note, go put your toes in the grass. And I'm thinking, she thinks I wear shoes. How cool is that? But she said, well, then now focus on it. Just don't run around barefoot hillbilly. I'm like, oh, there you go. Be in the present moment. I get it now. So because I was about to ask you, if a busy executive, doesn't have time to eat, how can they start? And you already knew somehow I was going to ask that. So great. Let's switch gears a little bit. Brian, what's the difference between meditation and biodynamic breathwork? And, in layman's terms, what you're so good at.
Yeah. So biodynamic breathwork is a collection of a few different things, and meditation is one of them. There's an understanding that to meditate effectively, it takes about 17 years of practice. I don't have that.
No.
And I don't know many people that actually do. And so there's a style of learning that is part of biodynamic breathwork that you cannot help but enter a meditative state if you just breathe a certain way with a practitioner. And it's a practitioner's job to bring you to that space with very simple guidance. It's so simple, but it has to be done at the right time, with the right tone, with the right person. And so the one-on-one is very powerful, but the group is equally as powerful, just in a different way.
So wait a minute. This is how I interpreted that. So if somebody's selling meditation and breath work in the back of their car on the street, you probably shouldn't do it. You might want to have somebody who's experienced and knows what they're doing, has some sort of certification. Okay.
Yeah, and the same with many different breathwork modalities. I'm not here to talk bad about any of them because they have their place. Yeah. But as far as a trauma therapy, BBTRS is the one that I've found, and every training that I've been a part of, which has been a lot, hundreds now, people say the same thing from all over Europe, from all over Australia, from all over the US. I mean, I've helped train in Poland and Bali and Mexico and Colorado, and it's all the same. Like, I do this great breath work, and on the first day they've got it. They bring their breath work, and then they start stepping into BBTRS, and they're like, this is completely different. How is this not what we're doing all the time with every breath work?
Well, you have an upcoming, we're going to talk about this because this is the time to talk about it. You both have retreats coming up, correct? Where's yours at, Brian?
Well, I have an ongoing darkness retreat that I own in Kansas City, and it's one-on-one. I have 3 shelters, and people come for whatever amount of time they want to come for, and they stay in complete darkness. And that has a lot of physiological changes. And then April and we do location retreats where we go to different places all over the world, and it's an experience. It's not a training, although I think everything's a training, honestly. I want to train everybody to regulate themselves and expand on that, right? So every breath session that we do and every training that I'm a part of, I'm teaching. It's not something I want someone to anchor me to. I want to teach someone to heal themselves. That's my job. That's where I'm supposed to be.
Exactly. That's what I love about the biodynamic breath work, is that we are actually giving tools and resources for our clients so that way they can self-regulate. It's not like talk therapy where you go for years. I don't want to see repeats after 10 sessions with me. By 10 sessions, a person should be in a really good place to where they can self-regulate, and they know what they can do when they are feeling heightened, and be able to find their resource and breathe into that space and recognize where the tensions are in their body.
Yeah, and by the way, I'm sorry, I was listening, but he's got that hat in the picture. You didn't tell him where he's going.
That's my adventure hat right there. I take it everywhere I go. I've gone through a couple.
Oh, man,
so April, you guys are kindred spirits for sure.
Yeah, we are. And she must have been busy not to be like, oh, wear your hat. All right. So that was all the way in October 2026. So, because I know people out there, first of all, if you can't make the Tomo tour, yeah, we get it. There's 2 more spots available. I'm going to share that on the screen. But April has a lot of stuff. But she has, a lot of free stuff, which is wild. I mean, but she's got, we'll bring this up in a minute. But folks, if you want to learn more, just find April Wyett on LinkedIn, or go to our website. It's on the screen at the bottom there, livingwithintention.co. The M fell off, so it's not .com, it's just .co. Okay. All right. So let's see. Let's go ahead and pull it up. If I can.
Oh, you have the Tomo tour. Okay.
Yeah.
I didn't know if you had the video to share of the Bali retreat that we.
No, but I will do you one better. All right, we'll post that on LinkedIn. We'll put it on YouTube, and then I'll show it. Should be able to show it next week as well. It wouldn't download. I had just.
Oh, okay. No worries.
I'm gonna blame the solar flares and stuff that people were telling me. So, but anyway, we got your website. You got a couple spots left. Who is this for? What do you want them to know, and where do they go if they want to learn more?
Yeah, these are for people that love adventure, that love to explore a different culture, that maybe they've always wanted to go to Japan or Asia, but haven't had the opportunity or be comfortable going alone. I'm your private tour guide, and my Japanese friends too. That's why I'm so excited about it. My Japanese friends are so excited to meet my American friends, and vice versa.
Has it been 10 years?
It has been actually I left in 2007. So it's been what, 17 years?
Yeah.
Did you check and make sure they like still over there? Like,
Yeah,
you're
I'm
like,
in
"Hey,
touch
you
with
still-"
them all the time.
Okay.
Yeah. So yeah, this is what I love. And also there is a theme, as underlining theme of Reiki. So you don't have to know what Reiki is. If you don't want to do the hike on Mount Kurama where Reiki originated, that's okay. You can do your own exploration in Kyoto. But the Mount Kurama is just right north of Kyoto, and we're going to have an amazing experience there. So yeah, we just going to have 10 days together in Japan, and time flies when you're having fun, right? It's not enough time, really. It isn't, as Brian knows, with the other
No,
retreats and things that we've had.
no, it looks amazing though. Uh-oh. Did I
Yep,
mute
I'm
Brian?
here. I'm here.
And for those of you that don't know what Reiki is, or you maybe you think it's something that it's not, it is literally what they talk about in Star Wars. It is the Force.
Yeah. And that's what Reiki stands for. Yeah, life force energy.
That's what it
Wow.
is. You feel it when you're around someone special. You also feel it when someone not so special walks in the room, and you're like, got to stay away from that side of the room. That's the Force.
Yeah.
It's an energy description.
Well, and they just have to get themselves here, right? Like, because, I mean, honestly, I mean, y'all kept the investment for this low. I mean, I saw it. So go check out the website, go spread the word. There's somebody out there who would love to go. They just don't know about it yet.
Yeah,
So,
bring a friend too. You
yeah.
know, you can always bring a friend. That's nice to have a travel buddy.
Oh,
For
my
sure.
goodness. Yeah, I'm going to do stuff. We're actually going to do a Hounds retreat. So all you retreat folks, man, I'm gonna be calling you. So you better change your phone number real quick. Yeah. So
I would love to head that up. That would be amazing.
well, before we close, I want to talk about, kind of the ripple effect of this, right? So you talk about this all the time, April, like how personal transformation creates waves of positive change, right? When you do this, it's like, well, I want to feel better. But other aspects of life start to get better, right? That ripple effect. So if you don't mind, paint us a picture. What could that look like in the business world? I know you talk to a lot of business people of all walks of life, corporate entrepreneurs, coaches. So what does that look like in general when that ripple starts?
Things just get easy. That's all. That's the only way I can describe it, because you're focusing on yourself. And with this self-regulation, with mindfulness, whatever, you're implementing, that builds your emotional intelligence. That is what they talk about a lot in the business world. They hire people, you take an EQ, quiz, right? When you're going for businesses. Yeah, it's nice to have a high IQ, but that's not going to get you to collaborate with your coworkers or get along with your boss, or, make these team meetings and have a really productive environment in the workforce. So it's really enhancing your emotional intelligence, and then things get easier because you don't take things so personally. People take things so personally, and they get frustrated, and then they quit their job, and it's that job hopping stuff. I'm not happy with my job because of this person. It's always about a person.
Yeah, you're not happy with it because it's you.
This person is making me feel this way. I'm sorry to say this, but nobody can make you feel anyway. It's our perceptions. It's the stories we tell about that person. And when we realize that we have to take we have to look at ourselves in the mirror and own it, be responsible, as you say, Mike, then we realize, oh, well, then that's my stuff. How can I work through this a little bit easier? And then we don't take things so personally. Then you start noticing the patterns of other people and their behavior, not judging them for it, just noticing what's happening. And then you can ask really engaging questions instead of defensive or be snide about things or, off the cuff comments, that type of thing. That does not do a work environment any good. So when you build your emotional intelligence, then that's that ripple effect. Then other people notice there's a shift. They feel more comfortable around you because you're not defensive. They're going to be more open for sure.
Oh man, I'm not even going to dilute that with my nonsense. Look, that was same. It goes back to the personal responsibility and doing the hard work. It is, and me and Brian was talking about this backstage. There's light in the tunnel as well as outside of it, and it's not as long and as scary as you think. And coming out the other end, you're so glad you did it. And what am I talking about? I'm talking about. Remember when it's. I used to think, because I was that guy, and I'm not saying this for any other reason than to encourage someone else, because there's a lot of me's out there, right? People who haven't got there yet, and you can. But it used to be when somebody would send a stupid email, and I would say, how could they send that stupid email? Well, now the question is, what am I doing to make that person think that's okay? See, it's a me thing. It's hey, I must be attracting. Like if you have 50 bad girlfriends in a month, maybe you're attracted. Maybe that's on you, right? Like, maybe you need to change you and you'll start attracting other things, right? So, but again, it doesn't mean that things in life aren't bad. Like people go through trauma, they've been abused. There's serious things out there, and I'm not minimizing that. But what I'm saying is I've also saw some of the most remarkable people. Some of them are hounds who went through decades of hell, and they come out the other side. So it's a decision. It really is. And that's why we do this. So you have guides and people who've been there, done that, and Brian and April, that you can talk to. You don't have to worry about them blasting on TikTok tomorrow and none of that jazz, right? And you have a safe zone. Because honestly, and I'm going off a little script, I don't care. To me, it was, and I think a lot of people, especially professionals, man, we don't want our dirty laundry aired out everywhere. Like you got to be careful who you talk to and who you confide in. And that's why we're up here, because you could do that. April could have done that a year ago. She ain't done it because she's a professional. She truly cares about people. And that's what I want. Are they the only ones? No. They're the only ones I've encountered and said, yeah, let me go spread this word. And that's what it's, because you all have some impact to make. Whatever's holding you back, face it. Face it with Reiki. Hell, face it with a tinfoil hat. Whatever the hell it takes to get over that. Because all the things that you experienced in your life, well, why ain't equality any better? Why isn't homelessness any better? Because people like you aren't getting it done. Stop waiting for someone else and do it yourself. Well, where do I start? I don't know. April, shameless plug this. So when is your next webinar on Zoom that anybody with the internet connection can join? When is the next one?
Yeah, you can find that on my website. It's a restorative meditation, and it's the first Thursday of each month. So that would be June. I don't have a calendar in front of me. I got it.
It's June 5th. I'm going to pull it up.
June 5th, and that's at 7 p.m. Central Standard Time. And I just want to shout out to Karen. She's been on that. You've been on it, Mike. I'm here to support anyone. It's free. Why not? And it just relaxes. It just resets your nervous system, and it allows you to just let go, right? Let go of that stuff. And also I have a Holy Fire Reiki training coming up in Des Moines too, as you can see that in September. But I also want to invite people. We don't have it on the website yet. I think, Brian, did you put it up on your website? The restorative retreat that we're going to have in Bali in 2026?
Yeah, it's on my website. Yep.
Okay. Yeah. So if people really want an immersive experience in Bali, just Bali itself is absolutely phenomenal. At a retreat center that is very holistic minded. We're talking community here, as you know, Mike, about building community. This Gaia Oasis beachfront resort is all community minded. Generations of families been working there. They're all like interrelated, cousins, brothers, sisters, right? It's all that community they have. And the food is phenomenal. It's all natural, fresh, locally sourced food. And that nourishment and that peace of mind that you get in this is my background, is actually Gaia Oasis. So you can't see me, Mike. Can you take that down? I'm just looking at the virtual stuff that you're sharing. So my
There we are.
background, this is the Gaia Oasis.
Oh
This
yeah,
is one of the huts there. That's the main dining area. Basically, it's not a hut, but it's a main dining area. And then just over that way is the beach. Literally, the beach is right there. And so this is just a beautiful space for people to come and discover more about themselves. And yes, we do breath work, we do different other experiences, but also we go on little excursions. So we're going to go for a waterfall tour. It's amazing. We go to a, 3,000-year-old temple.
Yeah, with the
That's on the
blessing.
northern shore of Bali for a purification ceremony, if that's something that you're interested in. And then the community, the collaboration of all these strangers coming together for this retreat, and they leave as long friends. And Karen is saying absolutely amazing. Yeah, the temple just is, it's just gorgeous. Just the yeah, that's all I can say. I don't want to take up too much more time.
No. You saw, because I love temples. I love like checking new things out. I went to the Buddhist temple in Dallas. It was huge. They had a big festival. Yeah, it's one of the rare places I fit in. Like people are like, hey, it's not like I go to the Buddhist temple. Like,
they accept everyone. Yeah, they accept everyone, and it's just a beautiful space. Brian, do you have anything to add before we?
I mean, it's not a spectator sport. It is a transformational event. You know, you're not going to come and just see things. You will be a different person when you leave, and that person will be the person you've been looking for 30, 20, 40, 50 years. There's no age. I've seen some amazing people show up at 18 years old, and I'm like, man, I wish I was stepping into that when I was 18. I'm jealous. Like seriously jealous, and honored that someone that's coming up like that has chosen me to be a part of their path. I just got a text that I'm going to be, I got approved for another retreat in March in Costa Rica. So I'll be filling everybody in on that in a little bit, but I was excited to hear that.
That'll be on your website. Yeah, Brian?
Yeah, soon in the next month, I'll be putting up that. So yeah, the Bali retreat is something special, and it's a collection of the souls that are called. It's a collection of the spirituality that's been there forever. I mean, everybody knows about Bali, and you have to ask yourself why. Why does every country know about Bali? Why do they all want to visit? I mean, it's not just for the beach. It's great, but that's not it. It's not just for the food. It's amazing, but that's not it.
Yeah.
There's something more there.
Yeah. This is definitely for people who are seeking more and we're not sitting by the pool drinking alcohol drinks. And, there is a beautiful pool there. You can go to the pool and, do whatever. You could snorkel on the beach and all the things, but this isn't a drinking, let's just get together at the retreat center type thing. This is way beyond that. So if you're open to exploring more, please either message Brian or myself, and we would love to share more information.
Well, if it's anything like I've experienced, and I've experienced this much of what you do, then it's transformational. That's the whole point. Yeah, you're going to have a good time. Yeah, you're going to see the sights, but you're also going to get what's going to carry on year after year when all that excitement leaves, which is transformation.
And fun. We have fun. We laugh a lot. We have a good time. Yeah.
So you can have your cake and eat it too. So before I end this last question, because this is the takeaway. People say, well, hey, how do I get started? But I want to make sure folks understand this. Brian, you said something that touches, inside of me, because there's nothing better. I know you two love this. When you see the change and you hear the stories, man, it makes it worth it. Like all the hassle that can come through this, all the challenges of the retreat, all this stuff, and then you're like, that's why I did it. Right? Like that person, and then you just hear it over and over again. You guys got a lot of repeat retreatants. You got a lot of word of mouth, and that says everything, because people wouldn't be telling everybody if it wasn't working, if it was weirdo, you know. So that right there, that's why I'm so happy for the opportunity to share this, because they got rednecks doing this, y'all. I mean, what else is left, right? So let's get down to the last question. All right, here's what folks, and I want to know. Right, we all know we can't pour from empty cup, right? And pretending like you're not empty doesn't make you full, right? So sometimes the most productive thing is to stop in the moment. All right, that stop producing for a minute. Just be. Right, me cooking eggs. Why did I put that up there? Because that moment I was like, I know how to expand the Hounds. I know how to get more life-changing events, more excitement, make it better. Right, 5 success stories a day. That's not enough. We want 50. We want 500. But I can't do that when I'm constantly tired and working and focusing. That's the creative side of the brain. That's the other side that they can help you with. I don't know nothing about. But on this last question, folks, I'm going to end. All right, I want to make it a good one. What is it that, oh gosh, something they can do right now? Somebody's like, you know what, you got my attention. What's a little baby step or some kind of action step they can take before they engage in the webinar and go down, you know, to the retreats? What's something they can do right now to go, I'm on track? Brian, we'll start with you.
Oh man,
We're gonna put him on blast.
Every person that comes out of my retreats, I say, that's why I built this. This probably this one person is why I built this whole facility. It could belly up tomorrow, and I'm okay with that. So I would say, I feel cliche. I just do. I feel, but be grateful. Just take 2 seconds to find something in your life that is a shining light, a glimmer, a speck, and exacerbate it. Take a breath into it. Really feel that gratitude and take a breath with that thought in your head and let it permeate through your being. And everything you do after that will be honor driven. It'll be honest. You know, live in the light.
Oh, yeah. Yes, no, well said. And maybe a year ago I go, oh, whatever. But no, I've done that. Like, hey, so many challenges, so many things, getting sick, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, man, look how blessed I am though. And you know, look at what I've got. Happy kids, blah, blah, blah. You know, and it's kind of like the water to the fire, right? The fire rages and you get to this, life sucks. And then you're like, shh, hey, wait a minute. Like, you've done a lot of things. You got a lot of good stuff. Why don't you focus on that more, right? I don't disregard problems, but I don't dwell on them. I don't dwell on them anymore. And that's the difference. You know, two seconds, find a solution, move on. I used to cry about it and talk about it for 3 months. Like, you know, like this is what we're talking about. And so again, thank you for your transparency, Brian. Thank you for being here. April, we're going to close out with you, my amazing friend. What is that baby step? What is that action step they can take so they continue this path of transformation and harmony and impact and all the good things they can do? They just need help doing it.
Yeah. Before the alarm goes off in the morning, right, to get up out of bed, what seeds are you already planting? What are you thinking about? Is it just as Brian said, am I grateful? What am I looking forward to? What's going to go well today? Even asking that question, that helps to shift the script of all the things of, oh, I still got to do this, and this person does this, and blah, blah, blah. You know, just as we have those thoughts happening. And if you ask yourself, I wonder what will go well today. What's going to go well? Then when you go to bed, when you put your head on the pillow, seriously, you take that long breath, repeat, what went well today? Because whatever you go to bed with is what you're going to wake up with.
Yeah, that's scientific.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Were you done, or did I just rudely interrupt you?
Nope. I think
you
froze a little bit. So unless I did.
I think we just stared at each other awkwardly, and everybody's like,
what's happening?
Let's
just breathe. Just breathe.
Yes. See, look, no, but seriously, it's not silliness. It's not woo-woo. Get on with life. We're grown-ups, right? I don't care how I look. I want to get better. I want to do things. Well, one day there'll be an oil painting of a redneck with a camo hat somewhere because we made things happen and it's continuing, right? Now, it would have to be when I'm dead because my ego would probably be too big for that now. But that's the point. The buck stops here. I want things to be different. I have purpose. I have avenue. And, good for me, but it came at a struggle. Right. So anyway, thank you, April, for helping me get there. Truly appreciate you. Brian, can't wait to get to know more about you, my friend. You're good people. And the Hounds invitation is always open to you if you want to check us out. And and that's it. That's my calling card to everyone. You've got an impact to make in this world. You're going to get rid of your 401k, your so-called security and benefits to go out there and make a difference. We want to make sure it happens, that you don't run, that you have the people, resources, and support to get it done, folks. That's it. Nothing sadder. Every day I see people who could have done something special. They were destined to it, and they don't realize it. And you're looking at one almost right here that it gave up, right? And now we got a whole community of them. And now we've even got strategic alliances. We got to talk about that. We got Josh Tapp, Pantheon FM, Heart Center, high level as they come, folks. So it's not just us. What's that?
Oh, Antonia just put in a comment. She was one of our guests. And also thanks, Roy, for being here. You're awesome too. But it's just beautiful to witness and being in that space. Antonia really, she was resistant. I think she's okay for me to say that. At first, she was very resistant. She's a high level professional too.
Yeah.
And same with Karen. Karen was like, what's going on? What did I sign up for? Because her sister drug her to the retreat. And so when you have that open mind and just being curious, things shift.
Antonia, hey, birds of a feather flock together, my friend. I don't know if she heard me ramble about that earlier. Yeah, but I'm overcoming stuff at almost 44 years old. I'm like, it's something scary to pull your hair out of the sand. But thank you for telling us that, because it's not just me. It's when you start this journey, it's scary because you got to get rid of old stuff, old habits. Even old people will leave. But boy, man, when you can't imagine who will be in your life, the opportunities that will crop like corn, man, it's unbelievable. Oh, I'm serious. But I had to get that
right off.
Oh man, I can just look at someone and go, "Oh, me and you going to get along." Just energetically, you get it. Like that person's been through that. They've been through the caterpillar journey, right? And they're still going through it. I don't think you ever arrive. I mean, unless you die, maybe. But I think it's a continuous process. But it's no more, I'm a victim. It's no more, oh, I'm hopeless. No, man, that's a narrative somebody fed you. That's garbage, right? Go plug into these people. Thank you, Karen. Pleasure seeing you on the show. Thank you for the comments. Thank you for chiming in. I know people have saw this and they are inspired. They're inspired and they're ready to take action because now they realize they're not alone. Now they realize they're not defective. And that's what bothers me out there. People putting people down. Boy, my Superman complex comes out when I see that. Boy, my Hulk Hogan comes out, Brian. I don't like it. But instead of getting loud and being silly, you know what I do? Hone in on the Hounds and do shows like this, because that's the water to the fire, folks. So look, Karen wants to chime in. We're going to start round 2 now. Check this out. Karen wants to pop in. She said, I was resistant, but when I finally relaxed, things started to change. The meditation, breath work works. Daggum straight. Yeah, no, I thank you, Karen. So men, women, people, if you're still alive inside, time to let it out, man. The world needs you. Go get it. Dump gas on it, folks. All right, so we're not going to keep everybody. April Wyett, you're an amazing person. Love having you in the Hounds as a friend and as a coach to me. I know what you do works. Thank you so much. And I only scratched the surface, like that much of what she knows. So I can imagine the whole gamut. And Brian, hey, you're rolling with April. That's all I need to know, man. Pleasure meeting you today. Thank you for being open and transparent and providing, because it's not easy. You can do a lot of stuff in life. It sounds like you don't have to do much anyway. But you do this because you want to help people, and it shows, brother. So,
thank you, sir.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you. Everyone is here, been here, Hounds, Friends of the Hounds. If you want to check us out, go to YouTube. That's where we put everything out there, the good, bad, and silly. All right. And LinkedIn. You can find us on LinkedIn, Redneck1, Mike Asherbrander. Or you can send me a carrier pigeon. I still take those, even though the weather's bad. It might be delayed. So appreciate you all. Cannot wait till next week. Same time, same channel. Go to livingwithintention.co go get connected, show up. I'll be there. And can I tell them the one thing I did that was just goofy? Because I don't do it much. But I heard somebody on a call one time, and they said somebody smelled incense or something, and I thought I'd be cute and send a message to April, say, well, maybe it's that garbage my neighbor's burning. Yeah, and she did, yeah.
And I did not respond.
No.
Because I was in the zone for meditation.
Oh my goodness. So I was smart enough to put it in a DM, but then I know April well enough where she went, not appropriate, and come right back. I'm like, oh, nobody else knew what that look was, but you know, it's like when you get your hand in the cookie jar. Yeah, somebody's gonna get you. So anyway, have fun. If I'm there, I'll behave, I promise. So everybody have a good time. Reach out to us. Don't do this alone. And we'll see you on the next one, folks.
Yes, together we're better. Thank you so much, Mike.
My pleasure.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank y'all for stopping by. Be sure to follow, share, and like, and send me a message if you had fun today. Y'all come back now.